Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive? This time we're heading to the Himalayas,
The Himalayas, that's exciting. To which part?
the Manang region of Nepal. We're going to really uncover what makes this place so special, beyond just the mountains. Think history, culture, and even a few mysteries.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we using to guide our deep dive?
A first-hand account, someone who really took the time to immerse themselves in the region and get to know the place and the people.
I always find those to be the best kinds of sources, a real personal touch.
I agree. And it makes it all the more captivating when we try to unravel the enigma of a place like Manang, starting with its name.
See, now you've got me hooked.
Imagine this. Towering Himalayan peaks, picturesque villages, and just this incredible warmth that seems to permeate everything. I mean, it's obvious why Manang is becoming a popular tourist destination, right?
Yeah.
But our source realized that, for most visitors, the story of the Manang people remained a mystery.
Did they try to uncover that mystery?
They did, and they started with that simple question. What does Manang even mean? And you know what they found out?
What's that?
They spoke to this local elder, a true guardian of history, who shared the most beautiful translation. The houses down there.
Wow. Simple but profound. It evokes this image of early settlers gazing down at their clustered homes, and in that single moment, a name is born, a connection to the land is forged.
It really drives home just how valuable those first-hand accounts passed down through generations truly are.
Like keys to unlocking a deeper understanding of a place.
Exactly. And speaking of mysteries, let's talk about the Nyeshangpa people. They're the primary inhabitants of Upper Manang and their origins. Shrouded in speculation, there are a few theories floating around, but the most prevalent one points to, get this, a Tibetan lineage.
Now that's interesting. What kind of evidence supports this theory?
Well, our source uncovered all these clues pointing towards a Tibetan connection. Similarities in appearance, clothing, food, even their language. It's fascinating.
So it's like echoes of another culture woven into their everyday life.
Yes. For instance, Wonga for eye, Mei for fire, Apa for father, all with direct counterparts in Tibetan. And get this, even the Nishanka word for eat, she, resembles an honorific term in Tibetan.
Wow, it's like stumbling upon these linguistic breadcrumbs leading us back in time.
Right. And hold on, because it gets even better. Our source was blown away by the eulogy songs for the Nyeshangpa gurus. They're sung entirely in Tibetan. But here's the kicker. Many of the singers today don't even fully understand what they're singing.
Really? That's incredible. These melodies, carrying whispers of a shared history, have transcended generations, even if their meaning has become obscured by time.
It's like a direct line to the past. And speaking of connections to the past, Manang's monasteries, you will believe this, but every single village has one.
Every single village.
Every single one. And our source was particularly drawn to three: Tasrab Monastery, Potso Monastery, and Dagkar Monastery. Each one steeped in these incredible oral histories, since written records are pretty scarce.
It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? These captivating oral histories, passed down through generations, often with conflicting details. It paints such a vibrant, almost enigmatic picture of the past.
It really does. It's like we're piecing together this puzzle, but the image keeps shifting, revealing new layers with each piece.
I like that analogy. So tell me more about these monasteries. Where do we even begin?
How about Tasrab Monastery? This one's particularly special. Locals believe that a visit will grant you a safe journey. And get this, the story goes that a wandering lama was searching for the perfect place to build a monastery. And as he was searching, he dropped his horse reins. And that was it, a sign. Hence the name Tasrab, meaning horse rein.
Okay, that's a pretty cool origin story, but there's got to be more to it than that, right?
Oh, there's definitely more. It's also believed to be linked to the legendary 11th century Tibetan master Milarepa. Legend has it that Milarepa encountered a Nyeshangpa hunter, Gonpo Dorje, and after their interaction, Gonpo Dorje converted to Buddhism. We're talking about a pivotal moment in the spread of Buddhism in the region, and it all circles back to this unassuming monastery.
Wow. So we're talking about a potentially very important site here. Are there any artifacts or anything left from this encounter?
There are. The hunter's bow, which he abandoned as a symbol of renouncing hunting, is said to still hang in the very cave where he met Milarepa.
That's incredible. Imagine an artifact from such a significant moment in history just there.
I know, but hold on, it gets even more intriguing. There's also a gun.
A gun? What, from the 11th century?
Well, that's what local lore says. It's believed that this gun, potentially Gonpo Dorje's gun, was taken to a monastery thought to be Tasrab, where it's remained for centuries.
1,000-year-old gun housed in a monastery. It's like something straight out of an adventure novel. But with so little written history, how can we be sure?
Right. It's like how much of this is rooted in fact and how much has been embellished by time and legend. It's a question that continues to fascinate, don't you think?
Absolutely, and it really highlights the allure of a place like Manang. It keeps us guessing, constantly urging us to dig deeper, to piece together the fragments of stories passed down through generations.
And believe me, we've only just scratched the surface. It's easy to get caught up in the grandeur of these monasteries, these towering structures, but what truly captivates me is the human element, the everyday lives of the Nyeshangpa people.
Absolutely, those intimate details that offer a glimpse into their values and beliefs.
Exactly. And our source uncovers some truly fascinating customs. For instance, when it came to sending a son to become a monk, it wasn't always the eldest.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm familiar with that tradition, the eldest son inheriting the mantle, so to speak.
Right. But in Manang, it was often the middle son who embarked on the spiritual path.
It really makes you wonder what factors influenced that decision. Was it a spiritual calling, family dynamics, or even practical considerations? Fascinating.
It really is. And while we're on the topic of monasteries, our source stumbled upon a rather poignant detail about Tasrab. Despite its revered status, its captivating legends, it eventually lost all of its resident monks.
Oh, what happened?
The exact details are unclear, shrouded in mystery, but what's remarkable is how the community responded. Instead of abandoning Tasrab, the villagers of Kangsar came together.
They came together. How so?
They took turns caring for the monastery, ensuring its upkeep, the rituals, the traditions, everything. It's quite powerful.
It speaks volumes about their devotion. They recognize the significance of this spiritual legacy and have taken it upon themselves to preserve it.
Exactly. But let's shift gears for a moment and explore another fascinating aspect of Manang, its natural wonders.
Always a favorite topic. What did our source uncover?
They introduce us to a place called Moon Lake. It's this hidden gem nestled high in the mountains. And for the people of Kangsar village, it holds immense significance.
Moon Lake. It sounds almost mystical.
It is. It's not just a source of water. It's a place where the veil between the physical and spiritual seems to thin. Our source mentions a local belief that performing certain rituals at the lake can bring rain during times of drought.
Wow, that speaks to a deep reverence for nature, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Recognizing its power, seeking harmony with its rhythms, it's beautiful. But it gets even more intriguing. There are whispers of auspicious symbols appearing in the lake's reflection.
Stupas, perhaps, or other sacred imagery.
It's like stepping into a realm where reality intertwines with myth and legend. And get this, for a very long time, Moon Lake was virtually unknown outside of Kangsar. But just like our source, now others are starting to discover its magic.
It's a good reminder that the world is still full of hidden wonders just waiting to be discovered.
It is. But now, speaking of discoveries, let's circle back to those intriguing artifacts. Gampa Dorje's bow and gun.
Ah, yes. Those tangible links to the past. The bow still hanging in that cave, a testament to Gampa Dorje's spiritual transformation. It's incredible.
It is. But the gun, the one supposedly housed in Tasrab Monastery, presents quite the puzzle. Is it truly his, passed down through generations? Or is it a case of mistaken identity?
I imagine the lines between history and legend can blur, especially after 1,000 years.
Exactly. It's tempting to believe, but as we've seen, the past rarely reveals itself so easily, especially in Manang, where oral histories and fragmented legends paint such a complex, often contradictory picture.
And that's what makes this deep dive so captivating. It's not a straightforward narrative, is it? It challenges us to think critically, to weigh the evidence, to embrace the ambiguity.
Exactly. Just when we think we've grasped the essence of Manang, a new layer emerges, a new mystery unfolds.
A constant reminder that the journey of discovery is ongoing.
Beautifully put. And as we delve deeper into Manang's cultural landscape, keep in mind, we're not just uncovering the past, but also engaging with the present and glimpsing the future that awaits this remarkable region. We've talked about the mysteries, the monasteries, even that incredible Moon Lake. But what truly ties everything together in Manang is the people's relationship with the land itself.
It's a powerful connection, isn't it? You can really feel it in everything our source describes.
Absolutely. And our source captures the essence of Manang's beauty so vividly. From those snow-capped Himalayan peaks to the lush valleys, it's breathtaking.
It's a harsh beauty, though, isn't it? Living in such an extreme environment.
Definitely. The Nyeshangpa people have adapted their lives to the rhythm of the mountains over generations.
It makes you appreciate their resilience.
It really does. And agriculture, as you can imagine, is central to their way of life. Our source really highlights that.
It must be challenging, to say the least, cultivating crops in such rugged terrain.
Right. It really gives you a newfound respect for the generations of knowledge and skill they've passed down. But like many remote communities, change is inevitable. Our source actually talks about this new development, a motorable road.
A road, that must have been a significant change for Manang.
It was, and it's a double-edged sword.
In what way?
Well, on one hand, it's a lifeline. It connects them to resources, creates opportunities for trade and economic growth.
Right, but on the other hand,
It has the potential to drastically alter their traditional way of life.
it's that age-old dilemma, progress versus preservation. It makes you think about the impact of globalization, the importance of sustainable development.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that we all have a role to play, even as outsiders. Engaging respectfully with these communities, learning from them, supporting their efforts to navigate these transitions is crucial.
Especially when it comes to safeguarding cultural treasures like those festivals we talked about.
Oh, those festivals. Our source's descriptions were so captivating, especially Yartong. Can you imagine it? This procession of horses adorned in all their finery, winding up to Tasrab Monastery.
It's like a scene straight out of history. And then there's Mitha with its display of archery skills. It's incredible how these traditions have endured.
It shows that experiencing Manang goes beyond just seeing the sights. It's about immersing yourself in their culture, witnessing their traditions, connecting with the people.
And that's where the real magic lies, isn't it? In those personal encounters, the shared stories, the warmth and generosity of the Nyeshangpa people.
Precisely. It makes you realize that a deep dive like this isn't just about accumulating information. It's about expanding our understanding, opening ourselves up to new perspectives.
And sometimes the absence of definitive answers only enhances the experience.
That's so true. Remember what our source said about the lack of written history. It doesn't diminish Manang's past. In fact, it makes the search for answers even more captivating.
It's an invitation to listen closely to those whispers of time, those threads woven into the very fabric of the land and its people.
And as we conclude our exploration of Manang, that's what I hope we all take away from this sense of wonder, of curiosity, of appreciation for the enduring mysteries that make a place like this truly extraordinary. So if you ever find yourselves with the opportunity to visit the Himalayas, remember the story of Manang. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of oral history, and the enduring allure of a place where ancient traditions and modern wonders coexist.